July 5th at Cityview Park and will feature 3 tribute bands with 3 local bands as opening acts. The first Friday, June 21st, will feature Philadelphia Freedom, a tribute to Elton John, with 6 Shots as the opening act. The second Friday, June 28th, will feature an evening with Stevie, a tribute to Stevie Nicks and Fleetwood Mac, with Leanne and Company as the opening act. And the third Friday, July 5th, will feature Danny V's 52nd Street Band, a tribute to Billy Joel, with Ostrich Hat as the opening act. Food trucks and local vendors will also be taking part in the event. We spoke with Hazleton Mayor Jeff Cassat about what he hopes the concert series does for the Hazleton community.
Brings people together. We want the community to come together, have some type of enjoyment, spend some family time together, show off our parks. There's a lot of stuff to do here in Luzerne County.
The planning for the concert series has been in the works for 8 months, and sponsorship opportunities are still available. To become a sponsor, you can contact the Hazleton Parks and Recreation Department at 570-459-4960, extension 611. Crews responded to a barn fire in Catawissa Wednesday afternoon. When firefighters arrived on scene, officials say the barn was fully engulfed in flames. Officials say it took crews 2.5 hours to extinguish the blaze. No injuries were reported and no animals were harmed in the fire. The barn had been home to a local butcher shop. Officials say one building located on the property has been declared a total loss following the fire. A Pennsylvania state fire marshal is investigating the cause of the fire in Catawissa. A man from Scranton is facing charges after police say he assaulted and berated a man at Dynamic Solutions on Thursday. According to the affidavit, Brian Trichetta has been taken into custody after he started yelling at another man, Austin Miller, who parked his car on Matts Avenue. The affidavit states that Trichetta had been shouting at other employees as well and had called Miller a baby killer. According to police, Trichetta then shoved Miller into a brick wall, which caused bruising on his arms and wrists. Police say Trichetta continued to berate Miller and a security guard, repeatedly calling them baby killers. Police also discovered that Trichetta had been driving with a suspended license. Trichetta was taken into custody and is being charged with terrorism, simple assault, and harassment, among other charges. He is currently behind bars at the Lackawanna County Prison, unable to post $50,000 cash bail. His preliminary hearing is scheduled for Tuesday, February 27th at 10:30 a.m. Police in Pocono Township are attempting to identify 2 suspects accused of stealing from the Nike store at the Pocono Premium Outlets. According to police, the suspect shown on screen entered the Nike store on February 20th and picked out over $900 in merchandise before exiting the store without paying. If you have any information on the suspects or the theft, you can call Pocono Township Police at 570-629-7200, extension 229. Coming up on Wyln News, the Hazleton Area School Board moves forward with building renovations. Plus, Representative Eddie Dave Pashinsky hosts a seminar in Wilkes-Barre. But first, let's take a look at our 5-day forecast brought to you by the Wyln Weather Kids. We'll be right back.
Hi, my name is Ezra. I'm 5 years old. So it's gonna snow, so get your jackets on in case you want to play in the snow.
Weather Kids is brought to you by Lehigh Valley Hospital, Hazleton. Your health deserves a partner.
We want your child to be our WYLN Weather Kid. Your child can be our feature weather reporter of the day on WYLN News and WYLN social media posts just by using your smartphone or any video recording device. It's easy. All ages are welcome, from toddlers to teens. To find out how, go to the weather section of WYLNTV.com or look for our post about it on the WYLN News Facebook page. Submit your Weather Kid video today.
Your guide to everything Pocono Mountains is PTN, the Pocono Television Network. Watch PTN on WYLN.
Like and follow WYLN News on Facebook for the WYLN News Midday Update. When it's serious, there's only one health network with seriously innovative health institutes. Lehigh Valley Health Network, your health deserves a partner. There's no better place to shoot than Whitetail Preserve. Their skeet, trap, and sporting clay fields are professionally designed, and all stations are handicap accessible. Whitetail Preserve has resident shooting instructors certified by the NRA in shotgun, rifle, pistol, home safety, and personal protection in the home. Whitetail can also cater any size event, whether it be a private party, corporate event, or wedding. Call 570-384-2314 for more information.
Hello, I'm Wyln historian Chris Fulmer. Pennsylvania's communities are filled with interesting history. Come with me as we discover the people, events, industries, and other historic facets of local towns.
Welcome back to Wyln News. The Hazelton Area School District held their monthly school board meeting Wednesday evening at the Hazelton Area Career Center. The meeting saw the approval of several new district hires, as well as the approval of various programs hosted by the district in the final months of the school year. Approvals for several building renovations were also passed, including contractor bids for repairs to the Castle Auditorium, also known as the Wiltsey Center. Superintendent Dr. Brian Uplinger told us why the auditorium is in need of repairs.
What we had encountered at the castle is part of the ceiling was falling. The plaster had broken down after years of just hanging up there with different expanding and contracting beams and situations like that up there with a leaky roof. We no longer have a leaky roof. We replaced that a few years back, which certainly helped that situation. So once that plaster is repaired and painted, we'll be back in business.
Along with the Wiltsey Center, several other schools in the district are receiving renovations. Uplinger said Phase 2 of the ESCO Product Initiative aims to make the schools environmentally efficient through new HVAC systems, roof and ceiling replacements, and other improvements.
Some unit ventilators will be replaced and upgraded with new fixtures. Over the last few years, we replaced all of our lights across the district with LED and got away from the fluorescent, which is a cost savings. So the cost savings is built into that program as well. So whatever cost savings from the energy reduction is brought in, that helps to support those types of different operations that we have across the district.
Uplinger also told us about the progress being made with the renovations and what the board expects to be completed by the end of the year.
There were some renovations that were completed at West Hazelton last year that were finished up this past summer in 2023. New unit ventilators, for example. The high school will get new unit ventilators in this go-round. So it just takes a lot of process before you get to the end product. There's a lot of wait time on a lot of the materials because of COVID. There's still that lag that the country hasn't caught up with yet. So we're seeing a lot of that delay still, but they're very hopeful that everything will be finished by the summer.
Hazelton school board meetings are held monthly at the Career Center and are open to the public. A man is wanted by the Carbon County Sheriff's Office. Kevin Meckes is wanted on a charge of DUI third offense, which is classified as a misdemeanor. Meckes is known to have ties to the Lehighton area. If you have any information on the whereabouts of Meckes, you are asked to contact the Carbon County Sheriff's Office at 570-325-2821. Police are asking the public for help in identifying 3 people who allegedly stole from a Swiftwater Sheets. The Pocono Township Police Department say the 3 suspects shown on screen entered the Sheets in Swiftwater at approximately 7:30 p.m. on February 8th and proceeded to steal items from the store. If you have any information on the theft, you are asked to email Officer Ianazzo at mianazzo@poconopd.org. State Representative Eddie Day Pashinsky hosted a seminar on Wednesday to inform Wilkes-Barre residents about available state resources. During the event, the representative and his staff spoke about a variety of topics, including LIHEAP, the Property Tax Rent Rebate Program, and the Yellow Dot Program for recovering unclaimed property. Pashinsky said he was glad to be able to host the event and spread awareness for state resources that can help his constituents. Coming up on Sugarloaf's News Choice, we talk local basketball and let's talk sports. Plus, Chris Fulmer leads us down the path through history with Lehighton, Part 3. So stay right here because we'll be right back on Wyln TV.
You will love the feel-good feeling you get when you shop at Grand Central in Nescopeck and Hazelton. You will enjoy a no-pressure professional sales staff, experienced delivery crew, service after the sale,
and don't forget, everyday low prices.
No matter what you're shopping for in your home, we have you covered with top brand names like Flex Steel, Lazy Boy, England, and Dillon Custom Rugs.
With our enormous selection and the flexibility to finance interest-free for up to 60 months, Grand Central makes it easy to make your house a home.
When you need surgery, excellence and experience matter. So does staying close to home. At Lehigh Valley Hospital Hazleton, you get it all. As part of Lehigh Valley Health Network's Institute for Surgical Excellence, we have the most experienced surgeons and advanced technology, including robotic-assisted surgery. For you, this means getting back to normal life. Whether it's general or orthopedic surgery, you have a local surgery partner you can trust, a partner committed to excellence. Lehigh Valley Hospital Hazleton, your health deserves a partner.
The Castle Auditorium Community Arts Center will be presenting the United States Air Force Heritage of America Rhythm in Blue Band at the Hazleton Area High School, Friday, March 15th. Doors open at 7, concert starts at 7:30. This event is sponsored by the Pasco L. Shivo Memorial Fund of the Luzerne Foundation and the Hazleton Elks Lodge Number 200. This concert is free, open to the public. Tickets can be picked up at Boscov's and Laurel Ball in Hazleton, and tickets will be available at eventbrite.com, and a limited number of tickets will also be available at the door. Do you like craft beer? Do you want to learn the right way to sample wine? How about checking out a restaurant with a unique flavor or a crazy food challenge? These are just some of the things we are featuring on Wine, Hops, and Road Stops. So, spend some time learning about great wine, great beer, and great food on WYLN TV 35.
PPW Nation, get ready for the best of PPW Season 2. Join Paul Bowe, E. Julius Kuiper, Alexander Bravado, Tom Mitchell, and Alex Watt as we take you down memory lane and relive some of the best PPW matches of all time. Saturdays at 5 p.m., Sundays at 10 p.m., only on WYLN.
WYLN programming is online all the time. Visit our website at WYLNTV.com to check out archive shows and a live stream of our broadcasts. And don't forget to visit all of our social media pages for breaking news, weather, and sports. You can also head directly to our YouTube page for all our programming at youtube.com/WYLNTV35. Subscribe and ring that bell so you get notified every time there's a new show available online.
Welcome back to a Thursday edition of Let's Talk Sports. I promised that we were going to talk about some local basketball, and we have the Hazelton Area Girls Cougars basketball team currently playing right now against the Wilkes-Barre Wolfpack. A little recap for you. In their first matchup, Hazelton got the victory 55-25. This game tonight is the sub-regional semifinals, and they're going to play for the right to go to the finals. This is Hazelton Area's first game since beating Lake Lehman 64-33 just a short week ago. So even though they're playing right now, I wish the girls the best of luck against Wilkes-Barre tonight, and we will recap the game right here on Let's Talk Sports tomorrow. And as for the rest of the segment, we're going to talk some NBA action as that gets back underway tonight after All-Star Weekend, which I voiced my concerns and thoughts about on here earlier in the week. And this is going to be more like a preview in the rest of the season. I think, in my honest opinion, there are 5 title contenders, 3 in the West, 2 in the East. You could probably guess who they are right now. In the East, we have the Milwaukee Bucks and the Boston Celtics. In the West, we have the Denver Nuggets, Phoenix Suns, and of course, the Los Angeles Clippers. So if you're not one of those 5 teams, what were you doing at the trade deadline if you wanted to compete? I mean, I think the Thunder could compete too, but I think they'd be my 6th team, right on the edge of contention. They're really young. They need some experience, but they're going to be a force to be reckoned with in future years, which puts a lot of pressure on the teams who are ready to win it now, especially in the West, as Nikola Jokic and Kevin Durant aren't getting any younger for their squads, and neither is Kawhi Leonard or Paul George. And of course, nobody gets any younger, but those guys are, I'd say, past their primes at this point, or at the very tail end of their primes. So a lot of urgency for these teams, and you see it in the moves they make with the Suns acquiring Bradley Beal, and then out east, the Milwaukee Bucks acquiring Damian Lillard, which pays off. Hopefully it'll pay off, but it paid off for All-Star Weekend when Damian Lillard won all those titles, but that doesn't count for anything. But as for my title prediction, I'm going to pick the Los Angeles Clippers over the Boston Celtics. I think this Clippers team is way too good from top to bottom. They have so many stars. I know some of them are past their prime like Russell Westbrook, but James Harden can still shoot the rock and still distribute. Paul George is a quality wing player that can lock down anybody. Along with Kawhi Leonard, this team is built to be defensive, and it's perfectly masking up all of James Harden's inefficiencies on the defensive side of the basketball. So the Clippers are my pick to win. It kind of hurts, after we trade Harden to the Clippers, but I just think they're the best team in the league right now. Denver's probably going to meet them in the Western Conference Finals if I were to give my prediction, and they're going to give them a hard time, especially if Jamal Murray shows up, because that team goes as far as Jamal Murray goes. I know Jokic is the star, but those role players and Jamal Murray being the second star are the real engine of that Denver team, because it allows Nikola Jokic to play freely, be the point center that he is, grab all those triple doubles, and just lets Jokic be Jokic. So those are my 5 teams. If you're not one of those 5 teams, including the Sixers, I'm sorry. I don't think it's your year. Maybe the Thunder could get in there, and maybe the Sixers could potentially sneak in there. They'd probably be 7th or 8th, maybe 9th on my list at this point. But we shall see how the rest of this NBA season plays out. But that does it for this edition of Let's Talk Sports. We'll see you right back here to recap some girls Cougars basketball right here tomorrow on Let's Talk Sports. Have a good one.
Your guide to everything Pocono Mountains is PTN, the Pocono Television Network. Watch PTN on WYLN.
Attention, WYLN viewers! WYLN TV can now be seen on the Hazleton Service Electric Cablevision HD tier, channel 507, and over the air at 35.1. WYLN, we're your local network.
And you will love the feel-good feeling you get when you shop at Grand Central in Nescapec and Hazleton. You will enjoy a no-pressure professional sales staff, experienced delivery crew, service after the sale,
And don't forget, everyday low prices.
no matter what you're shopping for in your home, we have you covered with top brand names like Flex Steel, Lazy Boy, England, and Dillon Custom Rugs.
With our enormous selection and the flexibility to finance interest-free for up to 60 months, Grand Central makes it easy to make your house a home.
This week on Let's Talk Chiropractic, my beloved coach and teacher Cy Fulton is going to be on the show, so stay tuned for a lot of words of wisdom.
There's no better place to shoot than Whitetail Preserve. Their skeet, trap, and sporting clay fields are professionally designed, and all stations are handicap accessible. Whitetail Preserve has resident shooting instructors certified by the NRA in shotgun, rifle, pistol, home safety, and personal protection in the home. Whitetail can also cater any size event, whether it be a private party, corporate event, or wedding. Call 570-384-2314 for more information.
WYLN TV 35 is expanding and is on the hunt for a dynamic salesperson to join our vibrant team. If you've got the passion and the drive, we want to hear from you. Send your resume to the email displayed on your screen. Don't miss this great opportunity.
When you see news happening in your neighborhood, call WYLN News at 570-459-1869 or email us at news@WYLNTV.com or send us a message on social media through Facebook. WYLN, we're your local network.
As the 20th century dawned, Lehighton joined communities across the country in gaining trolley service. In this case, the trolley line in question was the Carbon County Electric Railway. Its champion was James Blakesley, who among other endeavors owned the Lehighton Electric Light and Power Company, which built the first power generator in Lehighton. Through Blakesley's lobbying, Lehighton Council approved a trolley line through the town in January 1901. Although floods in December 1901 and February 1902 caused significant damage to Blakesley's power plant and delayed the construction of the trolley line. A new power plant was built on higher ground above the Lehigh River, and eventually the trolley line opened a few years later. It entered Lehighton on a bridge over Beaver Run Creek, then went down Beaver Run Road, past Lehighton Fairgrounds, and into downtown Lehighton, where it turned onto First Street. The borough was thus connected on the rails to interurban rails all over Carbon County. Of course, accidents did happen on the line, such as the time in 1905 when a trolley coming down the hill into town jumped the tracks and ended up making an unplanned stop inside the Lehighton Exchange Hotel. And at times the trolley was used to cover up murders. The body of Slovenian immigrant Juhobo Aleksin was run over by a trolley near Beaver Run on September 26, 1906. A coroner's inquest afterwards, however, determined Aleksin had been dead long before the trolley hit his body, and reasoned he'd been killed beforehand and dumped onto the trolley tracks to make it look like an accident. As with many other communities, Lehighton's trolley service came to an end in the late 1920s, victims of the shift to automobiles, as well as the local power companies being bought out by the larger Pennsylvania Power and Light. The tracks and bridges would be torn out in 1926 and replaced by buses. Ironically, James Blakesley, who in the intervening years had served one term in the Pennsylvania legislature and 8 years as Woodrow Wilson's assistant postmaster general, died the same year. Blakesley lives on in Lehighton today, as his name, albeit with an extra E now added, now graces Route 443 in the borough as Blakesley Boulevard. It was during the middle of the trolley's heyday that arguably the most famous person to live in Lehighton first came to town. Franz Klein had been born in Wilkes-Barre in 1910. After his father died in 1917, the Klein family would move to Lehighton. He graduated from Lehighton High School, where he played both football and baseball, and contributed art to the school yearbook. In 1931, after graduation, Klein studied art at Boston University, then spent a year abroad in England at London's Heatherley School of Fine Art, during which time he met his future wife. He returned to New York in 1939 and began his painting career. Klein was a follower of the abstract expressionist school of art, with elements of cubism also penetrating his works. Mostly painting in black and white, his art reflected the abstractions of urban life. Klein's adoptive town would not forget him during his career. In 1945, the Lehighton American Legion would commission the then still struggling Klein to paint a mural for their building. With a $600 payment from the American Legion in hand, and with access to higher quality oil paints, in contrast to the lower grade standard household paints he normally used, Klein finished the piece, simply titled Lehighton, in 1946. The painting would hang in the American Legion building through 2016, when it was purchased by the Allentown Art Museum, which, after a restoration, put it on permanent display, where it remains today. Klein himself would frequently come back to Lehighton over the years, often arriving during the week of the Great Lehighton Fair. In his professional life, he would get a big break after a successful one-man show at New York's Eakin Gallery in 1950. Following a successful decade, he experimented with putting color back into his black and white works. Franz Klein died in 1962, but his legacy lives on, with his works displayed in many renowned art museums around the world. Lehighton residents in the 1920s had a few places where they could cool off on hot summer days, including Mahoning Creek. They would get a more formal place to swim in 1925 when Graver's Bathing Casino opened to swimmers. A product of the town's Graver family, which owned peach orchards and an ice harvesting business, the pool, which cost $15,000 to build, would be the largest concrete pool in Pennsylvania when it opened. Admission for guests was a dime and allowed them to cool down in a 100 by 150-foot pool that featured floral fountains in the center. The pool proved successful enough that the Gravers would build a similar pool in Lebanon in 1927. The original Lehighton pool would serve the community for decades until it was replaced by a new municipal pool in Bayer Memorial Park. Today, Snyder Tire stands on the site of the former Graver's Bathing Casino, and a few traces of the old pool, including several steps, can still be seen. Murder, or at least the hint of it, can rock a town to its depths. On June 7, 1941, Lehighton awoke to the news that silk magnate Pierce Rarig had been found floating face down in a slackwater dam near his bungalow in Big Creek Valley east of town. Rarig had been a strong executive with the Lovett Silk Mill, where he'd earned a patent for a quilting machine, before starting the R&C knitting mills with his former secretary Evelyn Chrisman in 1917. The two partners would also have a long romantic affair despite Rarig already being married. What Rarig did not know in his last days, though, was that Chrisman had been also seeing someone else, Fred Komatowski, who by some reports was getting tired of playing second fiddle to Rarig in his lover's life. police arrested Komataski, who initially gave a confession to arranging a suicide for Rehrig, who was badly crippled by Parkinson's disease in 1941. In this initial statement, Komataski said he dropped by Rehrig's bungalow to visit Chrisman, where he found a despondent Rehrig on the porch. Rehrig had apparently begged Komataski to put him in the dam and end his suffering, and after initially refusing, Komataski had carried Rehrig over to the dam, lifted him over the edge, and left him there to throw himself in. At trial, though, Komataski told a different story. In this telling, he had left the depressed Rehrig alive on the porch and gone back to Lehighton, where he'd taken care of several chores and gone to bed. It would be 6 o'clock the subsequent night, taking a nap after getting home from his job at the Lehigh Valley Railroad, they received a call from a friend that the police were looking for a missing Rehrig. The two returned to the bungalow and would find Rehrig's body in the dam. The trial would ultimately hinge on whether the crippled Rehrig could have walked the 30 paces to the dam to commit suicide on his own. The jury in the end found Komataski guilty of third-degree murder. A year later, however, the state Supreme Court overturned the conviction after it had come to light that Komataski's original confession had been beaten out of him by police in a marathon 20-hour interrogation session. The fact there had been no eyewitnesses to Rehrig's death, coupled with the lack of evidence that there had been a murder, and a reasonable belief that Rehrig might indeed have committed suicide on his own, would exonerate Komataski. He would live together with Evelyn Chrisman in the former R&C mill until his death in 1965. Today, Fred Komataski rests in Naden Cemetery. Ironically, Pierce Rehrig himself rests 30 paces, the distance he either walked or was carried to his own death, from Komataski's grave. Whether his death was murder or suicide remains unsolved today, and the crime scene now rests underneath the waters of Beltsville Lake.
And that does it for the news. Remember, the source matters now more than ever. Catch all the latest news and updates on our YouTube, Facebook, or at our website at WYLNTV.com. Stay with us for a look at the weather.
You're watching WYLN TV 35.
Tamaqua tale